calm down, everyone. Calm down. It's 8 o'clock on the dot, and we are here for once. It's unusual, I know, but Daily Millwall, you fucking went early, 1 minute too, but I thought, fuck, I saw that and thought, shit, crack on. Welcome back, everyone. International break is that pain in the arse, but hey ho, it's got to be done because otherwise Omar won't be able to go to even more football games. Isn't it, mate?
Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Hello to the chat. Happy Friday evening. Happy Sunderland pre-away. Let's do it, mate. Yeah, look forward to it. International break. I mean, look, I had tickets to both games for England games. I went to one of them.
But if the FA's listening, he went to both of them.
Well, I actually didn't even go on Monday or scan my ticket. So, yeah, it's not important, but that's a whole other thing. But, yeah.
He did try to scan it, but it just didn't read.
I won't bother to be honest. Listen, the Tuchel era is here. Well, that's all we'll probably talk about the England, but yeah, it's all about next year, isn't it, mate? But no, we're back to the real stuff, and that's obviously watching this mob up and down the country. 600-mile round trip tomorrow. Just getting that one in there first time. Be mentioned about 4 times.
Wow. Do you know what though? The good thing is, yeah, that you drive. Obviously, I'm one of the most hated people in the world at the minute. I drive a Tesla, and if I went in a Tesla, it would be a probably 24-hour round trip with stop-offs and charging points and everything else. But yeah, it's it'd be interesting to do. Maybe next season we'll do Sunderland away in the car, just see how long it takes, and we'll do some content in it. I think, yeah.
If you see a 1 litre Polo on the M11 tomorrow or something at one point or another, be sure to give me a wave.
No, that's it. No, that's it. We're yeah, Epoxy England. Well done, Steve. Yeah. Football is club before country. Good evening, Daily Millwall. Chris Brown, Cole Bracey was the first one in today. Leslie, Peter, Steve, and Mark. Yeah, we'll wait for a few more of you to join in. I think Twitter, if you are watching us on Twitter, then great. That means it's working. If you're not, then you're not going to see this. And yeah, come over and join us over here. There's some news to catch up with within Millwall. We've signed a couple of players today by the looks of it on scholarships, which we'll go through them briefly. There's a bit with Alex Neil that's come out today, and obviously we'll discuss on that. We were, which we'll show a bit later on, but we were kindly invited to a new club incentive, should we say it is? So, well, we've been banging on for a while, innit, about, you know, we should be getting, you know, it'd be great to get more access, etc., etc. Well, they've answered that, and they've given us, there was us and a couple of other shows. Nick was there, and a couple of other nothing shows really, but yeah, they were on there, and
yeah. Run the intro. Come on, let's go.
And yeah, and we got Jake Cooper an interview. We managed to ask him a couple of questions, and we'll play one of those bits out in a while, probably about halfway through, just to keep going. I am just about to find the intro. So without further ado, it's time to do this.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes it, but we don't care. We're that Millwall podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy Abdul, Teddy Sheringham, and the kitchen of two. Super Neil Harris, a fucking legend too. Through the good times and the strife, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Ferguson way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night.
Good evening, welcome to that Millwall podcast with myself, Omar, and my co-host Mickey. How you doing, fella?
Hello, mate. Sorry, 1 sec. I've got a phone call coming through on my Millwall mobile phone. So, hello. Whilst I've been away, ring, Millwall mobile.
just to say, This is not a paid advertisement for Millwall Mobile or any mobile phone. But if any mobile phone service wants to get in touch and potentially do a paid advertisement, more than welcome. More than welcome to get in touch. So yeah, we've signed a couple of young lads, by the way, Omar. We signed a guy called Ralphie Beckwith. Scored 29, has played 29 times for the under-16s, featured twice under the under-18s. And yeah, he's scored for the Welsh national team, been in the Welsh national team. He joined the club in 2022 on the under-13s. And yeah, see what's what. It doesn't actually say. Oh, it does. He's a young midfielder. And we also signed a left-footed defender called Lyndon Snellgrove.
Very good.
I got that right then, didn't I?
Yeah, not bad. Second time.
Get in there, mate. Get in there. He plays, again, he's 15, plays in the under-16s, and he's featured in the under-18s. He's a left-footed defender. Scott Fitzgerald says that Lyndon is a cultured left-foot defender. He is comfortable in possession and reads the game extremely well, and he's been playing a majority of the fixtures for the under-16 side, but is also featured for the under-18s. I do like now that we're actually fucking signing youngsters. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether or not it's a new thing where Scott Fitzgerald is actually allowed to do stuff and the youth team and everything else, but mate, it's such a change to actually, rather than going, oh, well, there's another one gone, then we're going to arbitration again. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those, isn't it? So, yeah. Ollie, well done, mate. First one on Twitter. We are on Twitter. Excellent. Good man.
Cool. Well, look, let's have it right. It's the scholars that have been part of the setup for a while by the looks of it, right? So, you know, they've obviously been in the academy setup, and they've featured heavily for the under-16s and under-18s. You know what? I think the club's making more of a noise of it. I think that we've always been doing this, I have no doubts, but they're making it, you know, it's obviously more of a conscious effort to get them tied down and to obviously protect the assets, as the saying goes, and all that sort of stuff. It's the directive, isn't it, mate? It's what we try to do nowadays. And look, it's nice to make a noise about it. Of course it is.
I'm not going to say the word.
It's protecting the assets, mate. That's what it is. So, look, it's good. It's obviously they feel the need to make a noise about it. They feel the need to give the players their day. Look, these kids won't ever forget it when they first made their first real appearance on the club website, first kind of signing contracts, and look, hopefully they become something for us one day. And obviously there's a clear pathway that we all know about. So yeah, hello to everyone on Twitter or X, let's say, and everyone in the YouTube comments.
Your mates here, look, Connor.
Yeah, everyone all right?
Yeah. So Mark Lindsay says Fitzgerald needs to get more credit for service to youth, especially under 21 top again. Yeah, no, look, I think it's right. The last couple of years with them, they seem to be, you know, good. What did we get? We won the national championship or the out of the league. We won that, and then we come second last season, didn't we?
Well, yeah, I think we've had 2 seasons in a row. We've won the regional South division for the under 21s. I think we obviously the year before last, the Roman SA era, we won the actual.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. But no, we had we won 2 years in a row. We've won the Southern division. The Southern then played North. Last season we lost. But look, you can't ignore it, and we've always said it. If the players are doing the business in them division, in that kind of age groups, they obviously deserve the opportunity. Championship's a tough place to give them that chance, but the club are trying, and we've seen it this season, haven't we? So it's nice. Look, it's a welcome boost, and you know, 8 games to go, isn't it now, mate? And look,
Scott Fitzgerald, if you are watching this, mate, because I know a lot of players and people do, but if you are watching this, mate, give us an invite, and me and Omar would love to come down and watch a training session and meet a few of your lads, have an interview with them and whatnot, mate. Yeah, no, listen, these lads are doing just as much, do you know what I mean? And it's hard being 14, 15-year-old trying to break into football. And you know what? If we can give them, you know, their little bit of spotlight on them as well, the same thing, mate. They're playing for our club, for fuck's sake. They're wearing our badge on their chest, mate. So, you know, rather than it just always being about the main team and whatnot, listen, I'm more than happy, and I'd love to do some bits on the youth, because I think They are our future. Fuck me, I feel like I'm going to start breaking out into song now, sing Michael Jackson. So
I think on the Fitzgerald thing, though, mate, it's interesting because he's probably touching 20 years in the post now because he came in. Obviously, I know he was an ex-player of ours going years back, late 90s and stuff, but I think he's been the head of youth development nearly 20 years, probably. Obviously, I know Jackett works with him. He's then obviously worked with all the other managers since. So, you know, he's been in and around it for long enough. So it's it's great times. I mean, we're lucky to keep him still in amongst the club, really, you could say. Go on, give that shout
out. Good evening to Amy, who is Nick Saville's niece, and watching your I don't know what you've done to be punished by having to watch us for the first time, but listen, it gets better. Trust me, it gets better. We're okay compared to some. Yeah. So yeah, under 21 games at the Den on Tuesday. Again, the trouble is they play it in the early day. They play it early though, don't they? Some days it's like 2-3 o'clock. You know, it's unfortunate.
All clubs do that. I do wonder. Yeah. Like, I mean, what the trouble is? Would they actually get the numbers in the evening? I mean, you might make the odd one. I know, obviously, when it's like a more of a, you know, like the final games and stuff like that, they tend to put them on later, earlier in the day, so later in the evening, so to speak. But look, it's a tough one, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I've got a controversial point here. Do you know what you could do?
What?
Message from Millwall. Message from Millwall. Millwall TV could stream all the under 21s, all the under 18 games for the season ticket holders and members as part of your package. You could watch those games because you would have a lot more interest. And if you did televise them, we would have a lot of interest and we would probably talk about them on a next show saying, did you see X, Y, Z? Look at that goal. Look at this, rather than just posting the clips. Yeah.
In fairness to the club, mate, they do actually put the occasional game on, don't they? Which is more than they used to.
They do. They do.
I imagine, you know, some of it is also like not many other clubs do it either. Do you want to put a spotlight and give the opportunity for people to watch every game? Because you could argue it could then be, well, maybe that is an incentive also to put it on there because then you can maybe put these players in the shop window also if you want to. I don't know. It's a weird one because not many teams do it. But also, I don't know if the demand's actually there, mate. I know some people watch it. I'd probably watch some of them, but it's interesting. I mean, put it to the chat. Would people watch them if they put the 21s games, every single one on Millwall TV? It's at 2 p.m. in the middle of the day when I'm at work. Do you know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it?
If you're sitting there doing something in the office, would you just put it on your phone, sitting in the side, sitting off your such? I mean, I don't know. I mean, but even if it was on your phone, you couldn't watch it. You could then go back into Millwall TV and watch the full game back like you do with games and et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, there's a few avenues around it. It's a point. Connor, Millwall TV should be free for season ticket holders. Listen, right now for season ticket holders, it's 30 fucking quid, mate. 30 quid for a year's worth, mate. I think 30 quid is, 3 or 4 pints on a Saturday, mate. It's not a bundle of money.
In fairness to the club, mate, you're right.
It's worthwhile. I mean, I've seen it as a barrier, to be fair, normally to put on top. But I think obviously with the renewals and everything that's gone around for the season tickets in a minute, they've put it on at half price, and you get, I think, like you said, 30 quid with your season ticket. You can even wrap it into the total cost. So if you decide to do it on finance, if I'm not mistaken, you can also subsidise that over it as well. So it just takes the total cost for the finance of the season ticket. So look, I think fair play to the club on that front. I mean, what you've got to remember is obviously the people that buy Millwall TV are the season ticket holders. So no one else is going to buy it. So it's like if they want to get some revenue in, I know in the past they had that. What was that thing called where you had to have the credits? We even had it at one point, remember? And that was a scam. That was a scam. That was, mate, that was unbelievable. Millwall, to be fair, Millwall fucked us, didn't they? Because we were doing it at a reasonable price, and you could potentially make a chunk. You could make like good return on it to a degree, like a high percentage of whatever you charge, you come back, which is great. But what they didn't tell you in the small print until you start getting into it, that you had to hit a base level before they fucking paid you out. And I think they went out owing us like 65 quid, and it basically went into administration, and we've got more chance of seeing Elvis than we have of ever seeing that again. So
I think the club do it all
one of those.
themselves. It's all in house. So look, there's got to be some sort of charge in it, I suppose. But yeah, I've warmed to the idea of it. I used to be like everything that the manager says after the game should be free.
I do think they should. I don't necessarily. I mean, they are changing, and obviously we've been invited in, and we'll talk about that a bit later on. Where we've been invited in, and we're getting content, and our content will be, it'll be free to air. There won't be behind any paywalls or anything else with it. And I think as long as they put certain bits out what aren't behind paywall, then I think it's fine. If you want to put a 5-minute post-match out with the manager across socials, great. If you want to put a 15-minute post-match on Millwall TV, then great. But as long as you've got the basics of that post-match being free to air, then I think you can always do the rest. It's like us. We could do, we could do an hour pod now, but I don't know if we had Patreon or whatever it's called, fucking, well, I don't know, whatever the other ones are. But then you sit there and go, okay, look, if you want 2 hours worth, it's over there, you can get it there. Then, yeah, that's fine. But I think you've still got to give a certain amount to the people who've been there all, because there is quite a few people who can't afford even 30 quid, can't afford it. And yeah, that's why I think you just got to give a little bit. But yeah, we'll see. But no. So a nice rest 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It feels weird, doesn't it? Coming back
does.
live. It does feel weird.
No, it's nice to be back. Look, mate, I think I'm just excited for tomorrow now, to be honest. It's gonna be a good look, I think it's a long trip, but I always love going to stadiums like the Stadium Light. It's a good away day. I don't know what sort of numbers we've sold. I don't know if the club's put anything out today, actually. I need to check. But it's an opportunity because, will we, won't we? If we're going to do anything, likelihood is I don't think we will. But if we want to be in and amongst it come the end of the season, you've got to win the away games. I've seen here it's 771 of us being there tomorrow. So look, it's going to be nice. Like it's a long old slap of an away day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting up there. But if we want to have something to play for, if we get a win tomorrow, mate, I'll tell you what, it'll be a different kind of vibe on Sunday when we do a little reaction after it, mate, because you never know. Let's hope right, Mickey. You never know. And I mean, what's everyone's feelings in the chat? Are we? Can we? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But what do you reckon, Mickey? Do you reckon there's a chance we get a result tomorrow and maybe it makes it more interesting for the season?
I got an interesting text earlier from, I'm not going to name who, but he is part of a large Sunderland fan show, shall we say? And it was it was like, that means we're going to win now then, doesn't it? And he just basically went, feeling nervy about tomorrow. We've got no left back and 6 different defenders injured.
Yeah.
So I texted that to one of the pod guys earlier. Yeah, I forwarded it on to one of them, onto Frankie earlier, because I was talking to Frankie earlier. Yeah, and Frankie just texted back, went, "Oh, that's a 2-0 loss for Millwall."
Yeah, it's true. Listen, if like I said, if we want to have a chance to be in and amongst it, and we want to be there come the end of the season, come May, you've got to win a game like tomorrow, haven't you? Because it's 6 points to make up, but you've got to go to Sunderland Stadium Light. You've got to go to Sheffield United, who've just gone 1-0 against Coventry, Bramall Lane. You've got to go to Burnley, Turf Moor. And realistically speaking, I know we've been good on the road of late. Our away form's quite good, which does make me feel hopeful ahead of tomorrow, because I think I've done a piece for that same place talking about the Sunderland end. It's obviously it's a case of you've got to win these games. You've got to beat the teams above you and try and claw it back in a bit, haven't you? So, go on.
I'm sorry. No. I was on the Millwall website when we were talking, and obviously I saw on there that it said, the fans going to Sunderland tomorrow. Have a look, tell you this, tell you that, and I thought, I just clicked on it, looking at what to do, and fans can get away with and all that, and you're not allowed to take laptops or tools into Sunderland.
What's tools then?
Don't know. It just says tools. I mean, some of them are obvious. You're not allowed to take alcohol, canned drinks, laptops, tablets, large cameras, drinking glasses, glass bottles, video recording equipment. How the fuck do you stop that when every phone now is a video recorder? You're not allowed to take knives or weapons. Oh, fuck. That's fucked our fan base up then, isn't it? Thank fuck for that. Do you know what? Hats off to Sunderland. Well done. They've actually written into their rules that you are not allowed to take musical instruments into their ground.
Nice. Good stuff.
So it means we won't be singing "You Can Stick Your Jum Up Your Arse."
We've got some comments here anyway. We've got Mark Lindsay here. I think we will get at least a point tomorrow and against Sheffield, but fall short. Ollie says on X, if we get there, great, I'll love it. But next is the one I'm looking forward to be honest, when they're all fit. So next season, I imagine means. Colin says these games we have to turn up if we want playoffs. And yeah, then obviously can I bring my drum from Daily Mill there? No, mate. Look, like I said, if we want to win, if we get a result tomorrow, then it does turn it a bit more. It makes it more exciting for the rest of the season. But we'll get on to predictions a bit later on. But I'm probably edging towards taking a draw, to be honest, and coming away with something from there. I mean, it's not a bad hunting ground for us, the Stadium of Light. I think, we obviously had that freak game a few years ago where it was 2-2 and 2-4 goalkeeping mistakes. Jordan Arch made 2. But yeah, last few trips to the Stadium of Light have seen us win 1-0 last season. Obviously, Duncan Watmore got the goal. Neil Harris, part of the survival time. We lost 3-0, I think, just around the Queen's death, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, the game got rearranged or something. I think it got rearranged because the Queen died, and then we played them again. We lost 3-0. 2017, we drew 2-2, that freak game I mentioned. But then you go years back, obviously, Sunderland, the 2004 year, I think we beat them in the league that year as well at the Stadium of Light, and obviously we played them at Old Trafford famously that year. So look, there's always some weird feelings around Sunderland. I always think back to the likes of Julio Arca, who was a left back for them and stuff like that, who's a bit of a folklore hero there and stuff like that.
You've been researching that all day, haven't you?
No, he's a Argentinian left back. I think he's still playing. I think he's involved at one of the other teams' local area to it now. But look, it's I enjoy going to Sunderland. It's always a good laugh, and it's miles away, but it's normally a good trip nonetheless, mate. And we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Did you know that also this is an interesting part of the fan zone thingy, by the way, and it's not something what was planned. I didn't realise that I would read it, but it was just something that caught my eye. Advanced search policy. For selected away fixtures, there may be an advanced search policy at away turnstiles in place. If the fixture you are attending has an advanced search in place, this will clearly be communicated with your club and promoted a few weeks before. So we haven't had that, right? But for the advanced search, the following items cannot be brought into the stadium. We're not saying it's for tomorrow, by the way. Coins, vapes, power banks, flares, smoke canisters, and umbrellas. And then it says, please note that all coins collected will be donated to a charity of your own club following the fixture. I think they've had a problem with people.
I feel like I'm at a stewards briefing, mate. I'm here to talk about Millwall, but I'm at a stewards briefing with you. Do you know what I mean? So thanks for that.
That's right. Well, we were going to talk about Sunderland towards the second half, and you've decided to talk about it during the first fucking half. So that's fine, mate. We can do it either way. I tell you, mate. We should be getting professional. But hey ho, what's what? Cole. Yeah. Sheffield United are winning. Omar said that about 20 minutes ago. To be fair, so yeah, mate, I can't believe him. We've been rabbiting for 23 minutes.
I know. Trying to move it on, mate.
Mad, isn't it? It's mad, mate. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing for tomorrow's game, mate, is Alex Neil.
Yes, he's returned to the Stadium of Light, mate.
And I think that he probably won't want to lose.
Do you think?
I don't think he will. I mean, it's got to be a little. He seems quite competitive, doesn't he? There's something about him, so I reckon that he definitely wouldn't want to lose there.
Well, I think he'll be hoping for a win regardless of who we're playing, mate. In fairness,
but you know exactly what I mean.
Get what you're trying to say. Look, I think it's his old stomping ground. He was only there for a short while. Got promoted from League One, didn't he, in the playoffs? And yeah, mate. Look, it'll be interesting. I think. What did he even get promoted? Or was it the EFL Trophy one? But either way, he's got a bit of a weird relationship with that fan base. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets. And I think obviously, he was only there for a short spell, but he obviously compared it to, you know, when he joined us about like similar sort of ambitions. They've got a lot of young players there. Obviously, Jude Bellingham's brother plays for them, Joby Bellingham, and they've got a lot of young players in that side that strike fear in me, to be honest. But you know, it's got to be one of those away performances where we resolute at the back and try him on the break. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know if the injury front for us, obviously, Femi Aziz, I imagine he's still ruled out. And, you know, there's a few other things, question marks around certain players' fitnesses, but it's the opportunity, mate. Like I said, it's the opportunity to kind of go out there and keep your season alive. What do you think the players are thinking going out there, mate? Like, is Alex Neil, you talking about him? Like, is he drumming
Players
them?
could be watching us now, couldn't they? Hello. You know, I don't know, because they're obviously in Sunderland already, aren't they? In their nice, comfy hotel, mate. You know, Premier Inn on the river. I wonder if they stay in Sunderland or Newcastle. But anyway, that's contrary there. Sorry, just random thought. I think I was speaking to Jake this week. They were positive. He was positive. It was like it was as if for the first time. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did speak highly of Neil Harris and stuff, and said that was probably one of the biggest things to deal with, and hence why this fan stuff was coming in and try and create a connection between the fans and players and the club and everything else, because obviously it turned against Neil, and Neil wasn't, you know, was not happy, and he was unhappy with it all, and etc. 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 So, you know, I think it's nice that the players seem to be looking forward rather than, oh, we need 40 points to survive, or we need 35 points to survive. It's now like going 8 points off the playoffs. We could potentially get it, but it's not really there. But if we go out and get a little run, then there's a strong chance that we might be able to do it. And if we beat Sunderland, who's fourth, there's every chance in the world, because, you know, realistically, you want to beat the teams at the top and you know, and go for it. So yeah, I mean, the last three games have been close. 1-1, 1-0, 1-1. So yeah, 2 draws, 1 loss. So 1 win. I mean, so yeah, I went with a Sunderland and a playmaker earlier, I think, and I went with 2-1
to us.
Yes.
Okay. Well, look, mate, like that. What could work in our favour is obviously they're firmly safe in 4th place, 69 points. They don't have much to play. Don't have much to play for going up, because they're 11 points behind Leeds with 8 to go, and then they're also 12 points clear of 7th. So realistically speaking, the rest of this 8-game block for them before the playoffs, it's going to be probably not to get injured and just try and obviously get through these games and try and build some form. They're not going to want to be, you know, kind of having the luck that they probably want to win at all 8 games. Of course they do. But realistically speaking, their ambition is going to be focused on the playoffs already at this point. So it could mean that they're not quite 100% tomorrow. You mentioned the injuries that the fella said that they've got. It could work in our favour, mate. It's all to play for us, and they're quite secure where they are in 4th place in the table. So it could change, mate. You never know.
I think we will. I mean, we've. I mean, looking at the facts and stuff, it says Sunderland have won just one of their last 8 league games against Millwall. So drawn 5, lost 2, a 3-0 win at the Stadium of Light in December 2022. I think listen, I think it's bang on, mate. I think it's up, and this team, yeah, I think they do. And also, don't forget, I mean, everything what we've read this week, it seems that Alex Neil has had more time on the grass during this international break with the team than what he's had previous. You know, with any time up to now, he's had the most time on. So we might start seeing exactly what he wants from his team. So yeah, I mean, I honestly believe, and we'll come to that in a minute. But I honestly believe, I think we'll win this 2-1. I think, and then we go on a run, and last game of the season, we'll be okay. But last game of the season, we're going to get beat by Burnley, but then leapfrogs Leeds to get into the automatic playoff and pushes Leeds into the playoff position. Yeah. And again, they get to the final and they bottle it again, and then we'll see them again next year.
That'd be nice. Another trip to Ellen Road, right? Yeah, but no, You're right. A good point you mentioned there about obviously international break, because you're right. He came in at the end of December, and since then it's been games every week. It's probably been a welcome break for him to then get the opportunity to see the players. I think, if I remember correctly, he was saying that they'd be in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, and then they got the weekend off. We also saw the return of Ryan Leonard for the under-21s last Friday, and I imagine he's in the squad tomorrow.
We didn't, because they didn't stream it, but we could have done that.
Regardless, he featured for the under-21s. I think he played 45 minutes. So he'll be back in the squad tomorrow for all intents and purposes. I've not seen much about Langstaff, but I know he was linked with the return as well, but he didn't play for 21s last week, so I figure he's probably still missing. But look, Ryan Leonard back involved. You're right. They've had 2 weeks on the training field to recover and also then prepare for these 8 next games coming up, mate. I wonder, with Leonard coming back, the conversation amongst my mates and stuff has been, does he come back into the fold? Or do we, because obviously you've got Crammer, you've got Tanganga, you've got Cooper. Does it mean we might see a change in formation, Mickey? We might see a change in formation potentially where we could go to a back 5 or something potentially. I mean, I'll ask the chat as well what they think, but, you know, it could mean that maybe we go to a back 5 tomorrow.
Do you think?
I mean, well, no, like what I'm trying, I don't know if you listened because you weren't paying attention, but thanks,
You
mate.
did, yeah. You said that Leonard's back and it might form a change of formation. I did fucking listen, and I just said, really? That's all I said. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course. But
Which
no,
one of your mates suggested a back 5 then?
No, that was I'm asking the question because people are saying, does that mean Crammer misses out? Because obviously Tristan Crammer's coming at right back and he's been involved and he's done the business, but Leonard's now back. Do we put him straight back into the fold? I don't know. It's an interesting point.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should put him straight back in, because then potentially he'll be injured again. But I would probably use him a little bit more to maybe mix it up with Crammer and let him go a bit hard for 30, 40, 50 minutes and then bring Leonard on, and you've got the same tactics as such there possibly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's does he change it? Does he put him somewhere else? I don't know. It'd be an interesting one to see tomorrow. But again, it's not going to be. It's I don't know if he will or he won't. I don't see Leonard getting full game. Do you?
I don't. But strange things happen, mate. You never know.
Oh fuck!
God bless. Why don't you go to your little interview you did yesterday, mate? And
trying to say it's not that long. It's about 2 minutes, but yeah, it's quite good. So yeah, as I said, we were lucky enough to be invited along to Millwall a few weeks ago. Now, obviously, we were sworn to secrecy, so we've not said anything. Our first guest was Jake Cooper. And because there was a few of us in, just to give you a pretense of why I asked the questions what I asked. And there's one question because it's a nightmare to edit it, to be fair, but and the rest will be out shortly. I knew that I was going to be up against obviously a few others, and I knew that the questions were going to be very, very football related. And what I didn't want to do is put all our eggs in one basket and go, right, we're going to ask this question, and then if everyone goes before me, they ask that question and it gets to me, and my football knowledge is second to none. I wouldn't have had another decent question to ask. So I prepared and I thought I'd research. I spoke to a couple of ready, and basically I don't know what happened there, mate, but yeah, and went from there. So yeah, I am plugged in.
Run the video, mate. Go on.
Before we fucking disappear. Where is the video? So this is Jake Cooper and me having a beer. The other half, no. This is us on Teams having a chat. This is my question of one of two.
Done a little bit of research into you, and a couple of questions are more regarding you, not necessarily within Millwall, more about you as a person and whatnot. So my first question to you is, Max has got a picture which he'll show you at some point. How does it feel? Obviously, you're now coming into the Millwall history books and you're firmly implanted into Millwall. How does it feel that you're in the history books of the Forest School for the under-9 or the under-14s year 9 national final. You scoring in the semi-final, and obviously then getting to the finals at Old Trafford, and taking about 6 to 8 coaches of your school to Old Trafford for the day to watch you play in the final, which obviously you lost. But how did that build into where you are today?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know where you dig that out from, but that's good.
Oh, you see, I've got friends at Reading, so yeah.
No, I actually got scouted from that game into Reading, so that Old Trafford game. I was actually kind of at a lull with football at that age. I think I'd given, I'd been at academies all over, West London and the west side of the country, and given everything a go. And I was like, they get to that teenage years, and I was kind of rebelling a little bit. But then we had that at school, so we got to the final at Man United, and I think it was the Man United scout rang Reading and said, like, why haven't you got this guy? So I came into Reading then the next week, and it kind of they signed me then a couple of weeks after that, and I was kind of made my career, yeah. And school was fun, and it was a great journey with that football team, the group of lads, and we had a great time.
Yeah, no, I won't go into some of the players, because I've heard some stories with some of the players there and whatnot, some descriptions and stuff.
There you go.
And then there'll be another one coming out. What I did will probably be across the socials of I asked him about his time when he was at Reading with Jaap Stam when he come in. What was it like to rebuild himself from, obviously there was speculation around the time and amongst Reading fans and people close to the club at that time that Jaap Stam just didn't really sort of trust him, and because of his age and his experience, and he didn't fit into the Dutch way. And I just asked him really how it focused him coming forward, where, what sort of character building was it and done. But look, hopefully that just shows, listen, are we going to be able to get questions like that for every player we interview? Probably not, but much appreciated to Matt, who's part of the guys who, took on the battle cry for Reading during their protest and that. And he went to school with Jake. So it was handy as hell. So yeah, another football score.
It's 2-0, mate. It's 2-0 to Sheffield United now. Football score, mate. But it's interesting. Didn't you say he's like 7th in the all-time appearance records now for Jake Cooper, isn't he, mate?
Yeah. He joked at the beginning. I mean, again, it'll be on Nick's part. I think Nick puts out the whole show will come out on ours later over the next week or so. I think just give everybody a chance to do it. Hopefully, Millwall edits it and puts it out. To be fair, Nick said it's not really a question; it's a statement. And Jake joked and said, "Yeah, I'm going for Barry Kitchener's record." But yeah, it's 360. I think it's 369 games. I think Nick said. So yeah, 22 subs, and what do you call it? You can check it. Go on.
It's interesting because he's then 7th place in the all-time appearance records, and obviously the top 7 or top 10, mate, is obviously Barry Kitchener on 596. So he's not far off. Keith Stephen, Rhino, on 557. Harry Cripps got 443. A certain Neil Harris got 4th place in 431. Alan McCleary with 413. Alan Dunn with 388. And then Cooper comes in. So he's on 378 all in all, as says by Daily Mill there in the comments. Thanks for that. So he's 10 off Alan Dunn already. He's 22 off 400s. And Paul Robson was on 361. You go further down the list, Jimmy Abdu's in 10th place now with 342. The question begs is obviously, what is he, 30, Jake Cooper? I actually remember checking because he's a month younger than me, which gave me a bit of a wake-up call. But the question begs though, mate, because will we see that again? Bearing in mind, like the question I've got here is to everyone in the chat as well. Will you see another player play 400 games for Millwall in our lifetime? Probably. But when you think about it, mate, not many players stay at a club for such a sustained period. But not only that, he's not been here that long. But it proves how dependable and how consistent Cooper is. When he was injured, didn't he? He done his collarbone. and he was back in the side for 3 games later, or dislocated his shoulder, didn't he, or something? So it's not often that you'll keep him out of the sides, and he's always been there.
Nick raised that question as well and said to him, you've never really been injured, etc., etc. And he was like, no. He said, I just want to play football. But it was a question what I wanted to ask him about. With Yav Stanwich. It was where Nick come in with that, and we didn't know what other people were going to ask. And Nick come in with there, and it sort of fell into mine when I sat there and said to him, you were told by potentially one of the best defenders in the world that your experience at the time, he didn't trust you, and he didn't necessarily think that you fitted into his way of playing. Yet you are now embedded in Millwall history at being one of our greatest in that position. And of course, he wears the number 5 shirt, which again, over the years, put it in a comment, Daily Millwall, has been worn by some big names at Millwall.
Yeah, but mate, I think what Dave Mill's point is, he thinks he'll make his number 5 on the all-time list. But like I said, like when you think about the modern day and all about, having it's normally players don't stay long. It's the same as managers. Managers, you stay put in clubs for many a year. Nowadays, you're lucky if you get 18 months. So I think the average in the Championship is about 15 months per manager. But it's the same applies to players. Like I think he's underappreciated, Cooper, is what I'm trying to say. And I think with the Yap Stam comment, I think it was more about his style of play, wasn't it? Because Yap Stam wanted to play from the back. Cooper's criticism from fans, myself included, has been his ability to play from the back. But
it was raised.
He's played under managers, but he's played under managers. He's playing for a club that I don't want to see him play from the back. So it's like I don't care.
He spoke about that, and he said that he's I can't think where he played, Reading and other teams. He was talking about other teams where he played, that he's always played out of the back. He's always been a ball player as such. And then there was a part here where he wasn't playing, and it done. But he did say, I can't think who asked the question. It might have been Dan, it might have been Nick, I can't remember, but it was on there. So yeah, you'll have to look across the channels and see who asked. And I just hope that Millwall should put the whole interview out. They can have the hassle of editing it all up because it's a nightmare, but put it all out together as one, because there were some interesting questions, and he was honest and upfront and really, really genuine in his response. And if that's the way that Millwall want to do these going forward, then great, because everything what's out there is out there. There is no thing. I was even a bit cheeky and thanked him on behalf of all the Millwall fans who've won money on him over the years. And I said, there's plenty of Millwall fans and I've got the opportunity, so I'm going to sit there and thank you on behalf of lots and lots of people I know and lots of Millwall fans, that they always put a cheeky bet on you every week and win big. So if you can score a goal against Sunderland, you'll make a lot of people happy. So
I think, like you're right, mate. And I think, with Cooper, like, he's the captain, and there's also criticism about him wearing the armband and stuff. But I think what you see from him is what you get. Like, he doesn't leave anything out there. He gives it his all every game. He represents. He holds himself in a good, but he's not the shouty sort of captain we've had in the past. You think of Paul Robinson. Robinson was, you see that video against Huddersfield in the tunnel. He's giving it his arm. He's rearing the lads up. You will never see Jake Cooper do that, I don't think. And I don't know Jake Cooper personally to comment on that, but the perception you get from the outside is he's not a shouty sort of person. But he leads by example. He's always there. He's dependable in that sense, and you can't take that away from him, mate. And
it did say that he's enjoyed this last season because Hutch has been back around.
Yeah,
and he said that Hutch has basically been managing the inner captaincy inside the dressing room and inside the club, so sorting out the tickets, etc., and doing that side of it. And then he's been concentrating more on the pitch and bringing people together and stuff. It's quite weird. One thing what he did say was quite interesting is that at the start of the season, before the season starts, he had a sit down with Neil Harris and basically went through what the fines are. He didn't go into details, but he sits down and goes through the fines and say, are you okay with this? And Neil's going, yeah, that one's all right. That one's all right. What the fucking hell's that one? And he was like that. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it's I think football clubs, they tend to define a system. I think they donate some to charity, and the rest of it goes on their Christmas do normally. I think that's the dumb thing amongst football club squads of players. So I don't know. I don't think they might have some weird funds there to try and build the kitty up, mate, for their Christmas do. Do you know what I mean? So, but it's look, you can't. I think he's one of those players. What I was trying to sum up to, anyways, he's probably gonna be appreciated a lot more after he's gone because the numbers he's got. Like, he's been here for the best part of 7-8 seasons. He's 7th in the all-time appearance charts, but yet he doesn't feel like he's someone that's overly appreciated by the fan base. Do you know what I mean? And I think
you wouldn't put him as a legend, would you?
No, but if he finishes 5th in the all-time appearance records, like Daily Mail says, you need to give him some skin for that. Because remember, like I say, is like the modern day footballer doesn't stay at clubs for that long to even get the opportunity. And let's be honest, like half the season's been in League One, then we got promoted. The rest has been in the Championship, and he's played every single game in the Championship, more or less.
He did say about Tango that he absolutely loves playing with him and feels that he brings the best player to the game. So he said that Tango basically makes him. He said, you know, that Tango's Premiership player. He's a Premiership player. He said we're lucky to have him. He said he is a Premiership player. His skill level, the way he thinks about the game, the reads the game, everything else. But he said, but by playing with him at my side, he just makes me the better version of me. Yeah.
And I think that's the comment here from where was it? I'm sure there was something earlier from someone that commented it. I may have imagined it, but I'm pretty sure someone said that Tango brings the best out of him. He plays good next to a quick. It was Diggs here. Yeah. So Coops always plays best with a quick centre back. It's true.
I don't think he'll be here for. So what's Kitch on 500? So we're looking at another maybe 4 years. I don't think Coops will get that, but I think there's definitely maybe a year. He's got another year, isn't he, on his contract? I think anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Then he'll be up to 31 years of age. He's just turned 30 in February.
Yeah.
Look, I think the way he plays, he could go on for another 3-4 seasons. It's just, do Mill want to evolve? Does Alex Neil want to evolve the squad over time? Again, we come back to leadership, though, and him being around the club for so long, he knows what it takes to play for Mill. 596 appearances for Kitchener here, and I can see Daily Mill said that as well. So he's not really close to that.
But if he got to 595, I think he should retire. I think Kitch should forever and a day keep the number one spot, because he was a one-man club and he had the opportunity to go elsewhere and he didn't.
Yeah, if he gets to 370, so he's on 378 now. I think realistically speaking, I wouldn't be surprised if he got over 450. That's another season and a bit.
Who does he knock off then? Where does he get to then?
He would get to 3rd place, mate, in the all-time leading appearances.
And then knock Neil Harris off.
He'll surpass Neil Harris and Harry Cripps. Harry Cripps is 3rd in the list. I think he could get to 450. And then look, then you got to then look back at it and go, fair fucks, right? You have to. It's to be around that long in the modern day football. Like, to be like this, not many players will do that in this era, mate. It won't happen. And so then, but like I said though, it's weird because like he's always been there, but he's got his critics. If he was in League One playing like this every week, we'd be loving him. But I like Cooper, but it's obviously I don't want him trying to play up from the back and trying to defend his own goal running backwards. He suits playing the deeper side where he's just kicking it away, heading it away. I'm putting him a disservice a little bit, but I think he's very good at being a defender, and that's what you can't knock him for. He defends his own box, probably the best we've seen for a little while. Obviously, Tanganga's a freak of nature and brings the best out of him, like you said there, mate. But look, he's not got far to go, has he, to get up to the top 3, mate? And I think he will get to 3rd place. I do think he'll get there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he will get up there. I think he's in good company if he gets there. And also, Barry Kitchener, Daily Mill, you're confirmed. Barry Kitchener, did he not wear number 5 as well?
I think maybe 4. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm sure someone corrects us.
And didn't Cripps wear? Didn't Cripps have 5? I'm not sure. But you imagine that if 1, 2, 3 were all number 5s from Millwall.
Yeah, obviously Robbo as well was number 5. He got 7th in the list here, or 8th in the list, should I say. And he's got 361 appearances as well. Defenders normally stick around at clubs for ages. Cripps is number 3, Peter Sullivan says. So yeah, and he's right. Peter Sullivan says they play a lot more games now. So yeah, and Kitch did wear number 5. So
oh, there you go, mate. There's been some people. Tony Craig.
Yeah.
Paul Robinson. Josh Holyverd.
Josh Holyverd.
Yeah. Adrian.
Surratt.
Yeah, that's it. The geezer with a long throw. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? There we go. So Jake Cooper, Stuart Nevercott, Tony Whittle, Steve Wood, Dave Thompson, Lindsay Smith, Brian Snowden. There's been some fucking players, mate.
For sure, mate.
And Jake's had that number since 1819.
What do you mean?
He's had that.
18-19 season.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said 18-19 in the year 18-19. I was like, where are we going with that?
18-19 season. So, yeah. No, it's just madness, isn't it? So, yeah. I don't know, mate. We've pretty much been going nearly an hour, mate. I think we've managed to ramble through that without too much stress, I think, unfortunately. So, yeah. Let's get your predictions for tomorrow and your lineups for tomorrow's game, please. Ladies and gentlemen, off you go. Oh, Crips War 3. So, yeah. What number was Mill Thingy or Gaza or Daily Mill? What number was Terry Herlock? Was he number 5 or was he 4?
I think he was 6 or 4. So I think it was 4 because he's a midfielder. I don't know, mate. I'm not sure.
Come on then, let's get them in. Let's get your predictions in. Keep going. Let's have it.
Do you want my prediction?
Yes, mate. Do it. Let's have it.
Okay. I think we're going to win 2-1 tomorrow. I'm going to agree with you, mate. I think a 2-1 victory. I think lineup probably might. It's an interesting one because obviously last game we played 2 up top. I don't see us playing 2 again tomorrow. I didn't mind the 2 up top at home. I think obviously without the ball in the first half we struggled. Alex Neil said it himself. But I think as the game goes on, it's good to have that option to bring another striker off the bench if we need to. I suspect we will go back to a 4-2-3-1 is my personal opinion. I'm going to go with Jensen in goal and Kramer right back, Tanganga, Cooper, Brian. Then I'd have a midfield 2 of Denor and Mitchell. Denor's playing his way in to try and potentially win the player of the season and leapfrog Tanganga. I don't see it happening myself. I would vote Tanganga as player of the season. But his performances have later been incredible, and I'll give him his credit at OSG. I think Connolly might get an opportunity to play against his old club. Obviously, he scored against us at the Den. I can see Connolly playing with... it's just the question, isn't it? Bangura Williams maybe getting the opportunity to play again. Yeah, and Adamo Amaku. I'd go. So that's what I'll go. I'll go Bangura Williams, Amaku, and Connolly with the Serb leading the line. No, Joe, what I think Coburn gets the nod to play, and then you bring the Serb on in the second half. That's probably what I think I'd go for. So 4-2-3-1, mate. Coburn up top. Playing against the rivals.
Who I sent to Playmaker earlier to put in for us?
Let's hear it.
Jensen, Kramer, Tango, Cooper, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Denor, Mitchell, Bangor Williams, Kundal, Amaku, Ivanovic.
Nice. Yeah, look, I think...
Not bad, is it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Can Connolly play, says Gazline? Connolly signed for us on a short-term deal, not a loan deal. So he can feature tomorrow, as far as I'm aware. If I'm not mistaken, Mickey?
Yeah, I think he can play tomorrow, yeah.
Because obviously Sunderland, he played for against us at the Den, scored the goal. It'd be interesting to see what sort of reception he gets there, because I don't know if... Obviously, I think he only scored the 1 goal, which was against us, funny enough. But he's an interesting one. Do we see him being converted to a permanent signing? Well, not permanent, but staying on longer beyond the season, Mickey? Connolly, would you have him staying on?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because I think he's a utility player to a degree. There's a few different players, a few different positions he can play in. And I also like his attitude. I think he's got something about him. He's got that little bit of what we want from a player. He's got that little bit of Millwall bit between his teeth. Do you know what I mean? He'll go in and knock someone into the fucking stands, and he's got that little bit about him. And I like him. He opens up defence when he gets behind that line. he opens them up and he flicks in some nice. Yeah, he flicks in some nice crosses. He's got some nice passes. I think he's all right. And listen, the lad needs a break. The lad wants to get well, and he wants to fucking get himself back on the line. You know, sorry, wrong word. Wants to get himself back in the game, and I think, I think we should support him. I think, you know, if Millwall see something in him, which I think they have, then why not keep him? I think he'll probably be a fairly cheap addition. And we're hit on it before we come off about the players out of contract, what you highlighted earlier. But I think if we can get rid of quite a few of those, that's going to clear up a large part of the wage bill, mate.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting. With Connolly, I do agree with you. I think it's almost, obviously, the club, it's going to be almost his decision as much as ours, in the sense that I don't think he'll play a big part, as in play all 46 games. I can't see him starting ahead of, you know, Bagwell Williams frequently, Aziz frequently.
No, I don't think I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think if we're expecting Bangor Williams at the age of 2021, he's not played massive amounts of games. He is not going to be playing 46 games a season. Not yet. Not next season. Maybe the season after. But I don't think next season you're going to see him playing 46 games. I think you're going to see more of him probably at the moment because a player who would be taking his spot is injured. But, you know, he's young.
I think what I'm trying to say is I would keep him, but would Connolly maybe think he wants to go somewhere where he's going to be the main man? Because I don't think he'd be the main man here, is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He'll have a part to play, much like he's had this season. He's had opportunities. It's up to the player to come in and impress. And has he impressed? I'd give him like a 6 out of 10. Like, he's been all right. I think Gazline says here, he's right to say Connolly draws fouls, so we just need a good free kick taker. He's right. Connolly draws fouls. He's got a bit of a temper on him, which maybe you could then relate to the point of Peter Sullivan here saying Connolly's a classic Millwall type player. What was the game he came on as a sub? Was it the last home game? He came on and just got booked within a minute, didn't he? After coming on as a sub. I like watching him play. I think he offers something different to the rest of what we got. I would keep him around. I feel like I said, it's almost like it's a his decision in a weird way, where it's like you can come and have a role here, and it's up to you to try and get into the team and stay there. Whereas he could probably go to a club, maybe top League One, and play every game. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's almost up to Connolly what he thinks. Has he enjoyed his spell with us so far? Does he enjoy being in London? All them sort of things you can throw at it. Does he want to then continue? I think it's in that weird position where it's almost up to him in a sense, because I think we'd have him, like you say, cheap option, etc., etc. But be interesting. We'll see. And to the point, mate, about the start message from earlier on from Diggs here. What players whose contracts are running down would you keep or let go? And we'll open that to the chat. Who's out of contract in the summer, mate? We've got Joe Bryan. We've also got George Saville. We've also got Watmore, Honeyman,
Hutch.
There's probably a couple Murray Wallace. So that's 6 or 7 at the top of my head there, right? I think I'd still keep Saville, personally. I like the influence Saville has. I think he's almost going to replace what Hutchinson is this season. When you mentioned about being in the back end, I think he still can do a job in the Championship. Not to play 46 games, but he can definitely do a job in games where we need to count.
The problem you've got to look at, right? And I think, and this isn't down to anyone's fault currently there. I think it's just over the time where we've had these players for years and their money and whatnot. I don't know what he's on, but say, for instance, I don't know, say he's on 15, 20 grand, right? Is he worth 15, 20 grand a week for another contract, considering that he probably isn't going to play every game?
Well, no. Then I
would he take a pay cut when he might be able to get another season lower, a slightly lower league, maybe on the same sort of money?
Yeah, it begs the question, mate. It's true. I don't know.
Wallace, I think his leg's gone. And he's looking at being a referee, so good luck to him. Off you go. You can earn lots of money being a ref, I think. I would probably keep Harding.
Would you?
I would, yeah.
I think he's not played enough games. I think he'll want to move on and get some games. But yeah,
he hasn't done already. He hasn't wanted to move on over the last year or so. He likes it here. He likes the club, and he's supposed to be fantastic behind the scenes. Hutch, I think we can agree. Hutch is gone. He went last season and then come back, but
yeah,
I think it's pretty much that is, thanks for your service and pretty much I think that's a tick. Wallace, I think, is probably a tick.
Huh? Joe Bryan.
See, Joe Bryan's an interesting one because if we'd have asked this question 6 months ago, we would have definitely said, fuck him, get rid of him. He's fucking useless. He's off injured all the time. He needs to be doing coffee commercials and anything else. But recently, he's not actually been bad, has he? He's been, an average 6, maybe 7 every game?
Mm-hmm. He's been one of our better players since Alex Neil's come in, fair to say. I think with him, again, it's the question you just posed to me about Saville. Brian's probably going to be available and play most games next season, but is he? So he's probably on a decent wage. Don't know for sure, but you normally, by logic of football and how it works, free transfer, joins us, no signing on fee involved, to the club involved. So it's you pay the player typically a bit more money, right? So would you then renew him on the same terms, or would you hope to get him reduced terms? Will he want to agree to that? I don't know. It's an interesting position for Mill to be in. Part of me does think we should be starting to think of what happens after Brian. I'd keep him for another season if the option came around, for sure. But but I would be thinking, can we maybe get someone that's younger and making more of a pressure? It's an interesting topic.
Say there's 8 players. Say realistically with those 8 players, between them, I don't know, say what we're going to guess at wages, but say, for instance, I don't know, they're on between them, grand? Say 100 grand a week. That's 5.5 million nearly a year. That potentially comes off the wage bill. And when you think about that side of it and go, that could potentially buy you 20 youth. These youth are on £800 a week, £900 a week. It could suddenly get you 20 new youth players coming through the academy for a couple of years, or you could end up getting an half decent player on the pitch, paying them 25 grand. I mean, don't forget, we spoke about it before we went on air. I did a show the other week, and again, if you've not checked it out, it's on the YouTube channel, check it out. With Kieran Dyer, who went through the wage bill, and Kieran there was what's that?
Kieran Maguire.
What did I call him?
Kieran Dyer.
Oh, Kieran Maguire. Sorry, not Kieran Dyer. Kieran Maguire. Kieran Dyer was on the pitch, had a fight with what's his name, didn't he, years ago? That's it. And there was an interesting point there with a question I asked him. I said to him, like, where are we in the league of wages? And he went, "You're pretty much where you are." And I went,
my point, by the way.
What do you mean? He said, where you are in the league now, 11th, 12th, something like that. He said, that's pretty much where you are in the wage bill. Riggs, that's bullshit, mate. That's not true.
But mate, this is what I'm trying to say. My whole point, though, right? All the time when we think about play, if you have the most money, you're going to tip a bit at the top if you're a well-run club. We rely on clubs underperforming above us financially for us to succeed. That's a fact. That's how it works. If we're all running exactly the same way, but they have more money to spend, they're going to do better than us. So we rely on
I do like that. Tango isn't high. Don't forget, Tango failed 3 Premiership clubs before he came to us. So we were in the bargaining. We were in the bargaining seat there, mate. But yeah, the speculation what makes me die about the wages is there. But no, the person I heard is on the highest wage. I'm not going to say would be a shock to names what are being put about there. So yeah, one question for you though.
Go on.
How many different numbers has Tony Craig had while playing for Millwall? Just where I was looking at these numbers, I've just seen it's like
I reckon he had one when he first came through as a youth player, then he changed to another number, maybe then changed another one before he left. So he's got 3, comes back as only 4, 5. I want to say 6 numbers.
I've not added it up, but yeah, he's had number 3.
Yeah.
He's had number 5.
Yeah.
He
came through as number 37. Tell me I'm wrong.
49.
Did he have 37 as well?
Yep.
That was when he first came through as a youth player.
No, he
I
didn't.
know
No, he's
that.
not listed on there.
I'm sure 37 he did. I'm sure
49 he had and 35.
He had 15 as well at one point. If that's not on there, mate, you're wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
09, 08, 08, 09, 10, 11. He had number 15.
The year we won the playoffs, he wore 15.
And he's at number 35. He's at number 35. Yeah. He's had the same. Yeah, it's number 35. What other player has had the number 35? Who was on the show tonight?
Jake Cooper.
Jake Cooper had number 35 when he was here on loan.
He did, yeah.
17, 18. And Ian Holloway's favourite captain.
Sid Nelson.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
I was actually talking about shirt numbers the other day, actually, as well. Like, when you were a kid, you always remember the shirt numbers. Like, I actually named our starting 11.
42, by the way, Tony Craig as well. He's had 42 as well.
I actually named our starting 11 from the FA Cup final 2004. And I posed that to anyone to see if they can get that as well. It was like synonymous. You remember the starting 11, and like you can go through it and the players. There's certain things when you were a kid, like you remember so well.
I know that Barry Coogan come on for Robbie Ryan.
Yeah, he did.
When they had,
in goal. Who's in goal?
That was Andy Marshall.
He works for the club, Andy Marshall.
Yeah, Andy Marshall in goal. Then you had, who did you have in
who was the captain that day?
Nethercott. Oh, no, who's the captain?
Who's the captain that day? He's been on the show before. He was interviewed by someone that used to do interviews for us. No, actually, I think he turned it down. He's not actually been on our show. Shaggy was captain. Matt Lawrence.
Yeah.
Matt Lawrence,
yeah.
Marvin Elliott played right back.
Yeah.
You had Robbie Ryan left back. Peckham Beckham played next to Matt Lawrence.
Darren
Ward.
Yeah, Paul Ifill. Dennis Wise,
yeah.
Muscat didn't make the final, did he?
Muscat didn't play.
Come
on.
Christ, I can see the lineup in front of me as well.
One is the assistant manager at the club right now.
Is he?
Yeah, well, the coach. He's part of the
yeah, Dave Livermore, yeah. Neil Harris.
Neil Harris up front. Cahill as well. So there's your 11. Barry Cogan came off the bench. Curtis Weston was the youngest player to ever play an FA Cup final at the time. 90th minute sub for Dennis Wise.
Peter Sweeney.
And the other sub that day that came on was Mark McCammon, who was a striker. I think there's a story where Alan Dunn, I think, said or something famously, he's bringing on Mark McCammon over me and stuff like that, because whatever, it was all about who'd get the appearances and stuff like that. Because Alan Dunn was meant to have played if Dennis Wise then wasn't fit for the final, but Dennis Wise went to Italy or something.
There was a massive rumour about Dennis Wise, wasn't it, when we did a show? I can't remember what the player was, what we did, but he I don't know if it was off air or on air, and I'm not going to say the player's name just in case it was off air rather than on air. But allegedly before the game, Dennis Wise was going all around Europe to fitness coaches and physios and stuff, wasn't it? Yeah, to make sure that he could play, because he saw it as his last hurrah, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And went out. But I never forget Barry Cogan, because obviously my boy went to school with Barry Cogan, with Barry's boy. And there was one time his boy's sitting there talking about Ronaldo this, Ronaldo that. And I went to him, your dad's played with Ronaldo? And he looked at his dad and he just went, no, he hasn't. And his dad just looked at him and went, yeah, I did. And then I went, you're not going to tell him that you fucking wiped the floor with you, are you? But no, so yeah, watch out lately. We are looking at, when we started this 5 years ago, by the way, because lockdown, so we started this pretty much 5 years ago now. We did a load of interviews with Neil Fizzler, and we got some really good players. But the trouble was, back then, we didn't really do YouTube. So we done them all on pod, and they've sat there, and some have watched them, some have listened to them, some haven't. But they are there if you want to listen to them. But they are really good interviews. We done Darren Ward. There's Darren Ward. There's Paul Ifill, Nolan. There's Alex
Trevor
Ray, Samba, yeah. There's Marvin, not Marvin Elliott, the other one, Marvin Williams, mate, Andy Roberts, Brian King, all the 72 team, a lot of the 72 team. We done loads. They're all there to have a look. And unfortunately, back then we didn't really think about keeping lots of videos, so we're going through a load of old folders and stuff and looking, and we're trying to find a load of the old videos, and then we're going to edit them a bit, and then obviously we're going to get them out on YouTube for everyone to see, because they are good interviews. You know, we talked to Darren Ward about the boxing during the FA Cup, because Dennis Wise took the team to a boxing gym and basically battered the fuck out of each other. So yeah, pre-season, the rumor is that we're going back to Mercia. The dates are floating around. I'm not going to say any dates in case they're wrong. We are trying to get them confirmed, but they're not. We do know that there was a certain member of staff what potentially went to Mercia not long ago. And there is rumour flying around as well that Terry Hurlock's going out there. So, I mean, it seems as everything's adding up that it's going to be happening. But again, we don't know. You go Mercia?
We will be there.
We'll be there. That is it from us for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you do press the like button. Make sure you subscribe, or just copy the video link and post it in your WhatsApp groups. That helps us. If you see us on Facebook, make sure you like, because that helps us. And yeah, if you're listening on a podcast, then please do make sure you like, and do leave a review for us. You could suggest who you want to see you know, host it. It could be Elvis and Prince William. I don't know. That would be the benefit. That's in the voice of Kieran Dyer. It's not. It's Kieran Maguire. But yeah, I thought I'd say it again. Just
end the show. Come on.
I'm trying to find the fucking video.
If you're going to Sunderland, I'll see you there tomorrow. Go on, you Lions. 2-1 win. I fancy us. Come on.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall, and we're going today.